Hello, welcome to the Quest for Details. I'm Nate, and it's really good to get back out on the gravels. And yeah, so we had major storms that came up through here since the last time that we were here, and whereas usually we would have a bunch of water contend with, and that's why I wore rubber boots, the water came up completely through all of this and tore everything back and rearranged all of the gravel, so there's all new stuff flipped up and eroded and washed down and then went back down. Brought the water up to where you're seeing here in these trees above my head. It was, see where the grass is actually swept over here almost at the top of this knoll all the way down, so this was all completely submerged. We have a bucket with us and there are all kinds of good stuff. This is one of the main beds that we hunt in these videos, so if you've ever seen me find good stuff, this is one of the places that we find it. It is rich in all of the different silicates and very rich in our local agates and stuff, so that's what I'm hoping to find, is the ones that washed out and are laying right on top for us. Nice piece of jasper here with some pink running through its jaspigate. It might be a cool mix when it's wet. Oh. That's a big old chunk. Let's go get this wet. This has some cool pinks going on with it. Look at that. Definitely just a beautiful jaspigate. See the purple along the edges of everything. And that's that side, and then look as we go in here. Wow. Yeah, and then look as we turn it around. The pinks, they're very soft, but almost goes into round there. And then definite little layers. Agate goodness. The jasper is kind of a the muddy orange, but it's got that red in it doing some special things throughout. Those are actually soft edged little agates in there. See them? Pretty cool, pretty cool. You could find the right highlights inside that and use them for sure. Beds early in the season. Ooh, look at that slabber. Just pure slab of crevice. Let's get this wet. Yep, there's its little pancake geode. There's its little mouth, all the way around basically. Thin layers of chalcedony that line the crevice, and then the crystals that grew together inside. Here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 killer stones that were all within 5 feet of each other, and it doesn't even matter where we start. But we can start with this red jasper. It's got a really cool pattern in it. You see that? Like almost ringworm or something. Ringworm jasper. No, I'm sure there's a more technical term for it, but that's what's really cool about these riverbeds in the coastal range of California, is that you'll basically get every classification, maybe not every classification, geez, there's a lot, right? But so many forms of jasper. So whatever this one's called, fairy ring jasper, or, but look, it's actually brown on the inside. It's one color with a little orange halo around each stripe, and then the white, and then it's like more of a cherry brick red on the outside. So those two reds aren't even the same, and it's that way in each one. There's that darker red and the lighter red, and yeah, just cool patterns. You can see they go all the way around and all the way through. So that would make a good hunt just in itself. But stack that there. I found this little teeny tiny piece of chalcedony just sitting here. I was sitting down having a soda, and this was by our feet right before I was going to film this. I randomly stopped here with the bucket just because it was heavy and we needed to stop, and I was looking at something on my phone and I looked down and look what's at my feet. There's a little artifact. Well, I don't like to call them that. It's a little human-made obsidian projectile tip, probably. Maybe a little knife thing, but probably a projectile tip by some of the indigenous peoples that came before the Europeans. And yeah, it looks like it would have gone up into a even skinnier little thing there. I wonder if that's even a drill by the way it's shaped, you know? But beautiful. It's been a little bit sandblasted by the river, but we'll go ahead and put this somewhere safe and it won't get broken anymore. That's really cool. That is really cool. So, fun find. And then I looked over here and I'm like, what's that? I believe it's a little, yeah, it's like a calcite crystal. A little flow. It's kind of turned into a little lightning bolt though. So instead of quartz, it's calcite. And a little vein in the hillside where everything else is eroded away. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Indigo up here. The water scoured this down to all the tunnels of the golfers. That's his favorite thing to do in the world, is just sit there and dig out tunnels. And we're getting down there to where the water has dropped down. And we find these little pieces like this. Look at the jagged little quartz crystals in there. Little radiating fan. Little piece of this actinolite. It's sparkling in the sunshine. All the little blades of crystal there. On its way to being a nephrite, but not quite. But yeah, green translucent, you can cab it up. Very pretty stuff. I'll take that. Just a couple feet further. And a couple feet farther. It's a cute little creature. Let's see if it gets any different when we get it wet. Delicate little things. Okay, on we go. Just piles of this serpentinite and greenstone all throughout these gravel beds, just gathering it up, bringing it home. I'll have it. Here's a little piece we kind of happen to have stopped nearby. I always wonder if we found them all or if we just happened to stop by some and there's that many more. You see a little pocketed top on it in the bottom. Oh, and it's a little Drew's bed. Been semi beat down by the creek, but there it is. There's one half of a little crevice filled with crystals on either side, top and bottom most likely. Beautiful. So if there is a really nice agate lurking right here, I can tell. Can you tell? Look at that. Let's lift it out of here. Oh. Yeah. This has, you can see there's orange staining in this pool because it started to dry out. But that, besides the staining, is a big old gob of chalcedony. Those are actually agate layers there. Zoom in, see? Zoom. And it might even be more geodish in there, because this is looking like the outside of one of these things, and oftentimes when we cut them open there is a lot more going on with them in there. Oh, little pancake geodes, basically. Little flat things, but they generally fill in from both sides. So if we slice this or reveal it, or just clean it up, because that's I don't have my brush with me, but that is pretty stained up. Otherwise you'd be able to see the kind of bubbly, that was all druze on there at one point, kind of rounded down by the creek. Big nice gob of goodness there. Oh, this perfect little landscape stone, picture tough, and with a perfect little hill and layers to the hill, and then what looks like a sunshine behind it, kind of radiating out. And that's kind of a perfect little specimen. So now we will just grab our little machine and make our way. At this point, when it gets this heavy, it's actually easier. You just pull it behind you, and it just kind of tracks along behind. And it's nice because it's a one-wheeler, so it just goes in between all the big boulders. If you have two wheels in a big cobbly zone, it can be way more difficult. There's a little chunk of chalcedony. Let's take this ride home. Oh, and then, in case you haven't seen it before, when you get it to your trunk, you just go whoop. And then the bar pops out of the bucket too if you need to relieve the bucket. It's a pretty simple little thing there. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'd show that one off every once in a while. You can make them have a baby stroller. It had the little baby seat in there. I just took off the back two tires and modified some stuff, and there you go. Look at that. Love that pattern. That's the pattern on the outside of our crevice agates in this part of California. Let's go ahead and rinse that off. Bone. These areas are just open as the water goes down. Yeah, look at the light coming through there. And then, again, that's what it is. 2 layers of crystal. Look at that little druzy face there. Yep, it's a little pancake geode. A little flat crevice that filled in with crystals and chalcedony. Good stuff. Really good stuff. And then that outside pattern. the chicken foot. You see it just goes all the way around. 2 different layers. This big sheet of chalcedony and crevice agate. Set down those. Give it a quick look at that one. At this, it's looking at its dry form. There's where it was connected to the outside. Very thin there. There's our face. Get this wet. See all the different layers going on in this cross section here. And if I pinch it, it'll give it a little bit more of its blue. You can see even more of the ghost mines. It is so pure that the light just really washes it out the second you let it through. Okay. I got this sticking out of the ground. You can see it's fairly big and it's showing some signs of agateness here. So I thought maybe I'd turn you on and ooh, yeah, it looks like it is a big old crevicey creature. This is probably going to have to get sliced in half, but it looks like most of the host rock that's not silicated is gone. And these usually develop from top and bottom inside of a crevice. If you've been following the channel, I've been finding these for years. And go rinse it in the water and show you more of its agate outside colors. But as far as this particular video, you might just have to take my word on that for this particular video. There's the outside, basically the rind. You can see its shape kinda. And yeah. Right now I'm just a guy telling you that's a big old gob of agate. It's mixed in with the host rock. The host rock will be silicated in here. It makes really cool patterns. It can have that lattice work to it and all kinds of things going on. But that's what that is. Ooh, big old flat blade of chalcedony. Look at that. That's what we call crevice agate. Instead of being formed in a round vesicle, it was formed in between the flat layers of sedimentary rock, but still the same process of filling in, so you get a flat agate instead of a round agate. Beautiful. Just your purest chalcedony with the faintest little lines in there. Oh, we got some wandering to do still in this world. Hopefully you're sticking with me. Here's another beautiful little mix of agate. This is another one of those that has the different bladed calcite crystals forming lattice work in between. I guess the back isn't that descriptive, but we should get that wet. You can kind of look down into this rock. That looks a little bit more defined with the moisture on it. Things get very blanched out by the sun and the beating of the other sands in the gravel beds. But you can see the agate goodness going through there. Those are probably the best 2 windows. This is a lot of, well, this kind of shows you the blading up in here. You see it's actually in there. Those are little druze filled lattice work agates, all at different angles. It's pretty thin, but if you could find a way to cut across any of those beds, all of these patterns are throughout it and would show up. See by my thumb there, all through there. Yeah. And then as I walked back up here, I saw this. This is another crazy crevice creature. It's got a lot of the bluish color to it, but that's often because it has host rock still stuck to it. You can see the layer of host rock sandwiched in between there. But then you can see the chalcedony goodness of that, right? And so that's what these little crevice geodes can look like. These are often lined with druze. Those don't appear to be so much. I think we should go get this wet. And a lot of the fine banding often shows up. You can see in these zones, a lot of the host rock has had the silicate soak into it, and so it's kind of become part of it. So the river won't ever wash that away. But it does create some beautiful patterns when you cut them. What are you? There's so many big versions of this. In this creek, the calcites and the chalcedonies mix together, and they make this big conglomerates. And if you look at this, I don't show them to you often because they're like big dirty agates, but you can see what they are, right? I mean, that's all basically chalcedony version of microcrystalline quartz, and it's just, again, eroded out of these sedimentary rocks, and sure it has its nice milky patternings and swirlings in there, but they're like big milky crazy agate things. So they are here also. I encounter them a lot. Let's go get this wet. You're leaving this little killdeer alone, right? Yeah. Okay. I know it's tempting. They come over and flap around, but that means that we're too close to the nest, so we're going to move off now. Whenever you see these little long-legged things and they're flopping around making noise. Oh, there's actually babies. We're going to go back the other way because they are swimming. We're going to go back the other way. They're obviously big enough to swim, but we're going to turn around. We're going to go away in a hurry so we don't disturb the little family. And what I wanted to finish saying about that is that when you see them, sometimes the mom will flop around on the ground and make it look like one of her wings is hurt. And that is to get a predator or us to follow them and go after them. And then they fly away each time before the thing gets to them, and they lure the things away from their babies or from their nests, because they're actually ground nesting birds, meaning they just lay their eggs in a little spot. And so that's their technique for keeping their babies safe, is making all that noise and luring them off. So they're a very self-sacrificing bird, you know. They'd rather have the predator chasing them down the creek bed than being anywhere near their nest. So a lot of valor in those little creatures, and I try and give them a lot of space. So we're going to actually head back because we're going to come out here another day. As you see, we have gone all the way to the end of the light for now, and yeah, bring these guys back to the car and edit this video and maybe pluck a couple more. Oh, we haven't looked at this yet all the way, or we did. The light's fading now anyways, but yeah, layers of chalcedony goodness. So I hope that you had a good little wander with me. We needed to get out of the house. Oh, here's one of those little pink bubbly ones. Oh man, what a gift for the end of the video. I love these. We've been here before, if you've been with me, in this very creek bed, and found these bubbly botryoidal sheets. Again, it's a crevice agate, so it's a little layer of druze, but these decided to form round in their crystalline habit. And it's actually washed with pink, because even with the host rock gone, for some reason these have a opalescent little flush of pink, which you probably can't see in my hand, but setting it here on a gray rock. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. That's the way to do that. I wanted to stop here at the end. We'll go and check in with my dad. He is recovering himself in a very expedient fashion since his surgery, and he has built himself a couple of cool contraptions, or one cool contraption I wanted to show you to help his rehab. And yeah, let's go see his face and listen to his voice, but it'll be at the end of the video. Mars getting his sticks. Beautiful, right? Okay. So, all sorts of goodness, and as usual, the slower you go and the more you pay attention, the more you would find. So we found what we paid attention to. And that's how treasure works, and it's all out there waiting for you. Okay. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this part of this video up. If I find any more stuff, I will show you. And yeah, just a really beautiful part of the evening. I could sit here and chat with you for a long while, but I think I'll put the phone up and we will make our way back. Thank you for joining me in the gravels of California once again. It was definitely good to see you, and yeah, remember I'm putting out shorts every day, trying to almost every day, and those oftentimes, sometimes when we have a good long video series going on, I will put out pieces of those, but otherwise they are generally just one-offs. Just I'm going out and doing little prospecting trips. So many mosquitoes. We gotta go. But yeah, I'm going out and doing those short prospecting trips and finding just a couple killer things, highlighting them in the videos, and then yeah, putting them out. So be sure to check those out, because about 80 to 90% of them you won't see in these longer length videos. So you'll only find them there in the shorts, and you can get to that in the shorts menu on the home page of my channel. And we're gonna boogie.
Make your own parallel bar so you can practice walking.
We constructed this whole thing out of the PVC. Works much better than the walker.
Yes, because I had some.
And you can do whole laps across the living room and house and stuff, instead of only getting the, what were you getting, 1 day a week that you were getting down at the...
So far I've got 2 days and 2 months.
Oh, okay.
And you get 1 hour.
Oh.
1 day a month.
And you were wanting to...
And that was 5 minutes on the parallel bars exercises. So I did 2 hours of exercises in the morning, an hour on the walker, and then same thing in the evening. See if I can cut down the time it takes to learn how to walk again.
It's a pretty cool contraption. It's basically like a walker, but or parallel bars. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Well, so you can fold it up and
let me show this thing that you've made.
Well, when you get done, I can't do it because I'm in it, but then you can fold it flat.
Oh, okay.
And put it away. I just didn't glue the vertical.
And I noticed you were sitting on these bars to rest, so you can get in and out of your wheelchair.
Or if you just get tired, because I'm building up muscles I don't have. And if I get tired, I can just kind of use that as something. Sit on and take a little rest break.
Oh, yeah.
And it also makes it furniture height, so you can unload on the furniture.
Yeah, it doesn't tip back because it's that long and stable.
Yeah. I kind of worked at having enough. I could have made it, like just long enough to stand in, but then it doesn't give you the counterbalance. which is what you lose when you lose most of your legs. It's your counterbalance.
Right. I hear people struggle when they lose a toe, so you must be dealing with a whole new game here.
Yeah, I kind of miss my size 14 feet.
And out on the ATV every day. I see your tracks all over the yard. And you got to the peaches in one day that we...
Oh, yeah.
So, still working all the trees and doing all that. Crazy farm work.
Well, it's going to be picking time before you know it, so.
Yeah.
Got to get in on the money-making part.
But yeah, that's the latest. That's what I found in here, building and making and using since the last visit. So, oh, cool. Yeah. Well, and having parallel bars at home too, without having I would think that you'd need to bolt cement things in and stainless steel things and all that. So that's actually really, I mean, I feel like everybody should probably.
Well, they sell what they call Mary walkers online. And they're made of tubing and weird stuff like this and all fancy and all weird, and they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I looked at those and went,
yeah.
$80 worth of PVC and glue and you're off down the road, you know?
And you've worked with it your whole life, so that's like what, schedule 40 or something?
Yeah, 40.
So it's strong. You couldn't
Right.
couldn't stomp that in half or anything.
Right. And you can actually make it into 4 pieces, and it's even smaller for throwing in the car and going places.
Oh, okay. See?
Not that I want to take it, but if I had to.
It's not your idea going out for a fun time is bringing out.
Well, at some point, you know.
Yeah.
Be able to go out in the yard with it and stuff.
Yeah.
Travel around, do pruning and weird stuff like that. Take it up to the garden, hang a basket on each end and do picking.
Right, and be down off of the ATV because you're on the ATV now, but this is your transfer to the ground.
Yeah, and the ATV doesn't fit down the rows in the garden. And wherever you stop, you got those wheels out in front of you, the wheels out behind you, and you can only reach almost to the edge of the wheel.
Oh.
So you just really can't reach anything to do anything. That's why if you look at it, you'll see forked sticks sitting here and there on it.
Oh yeah, I moved one of your gaff hooks when I was doing the stuff up there. I realized, oh, that's probably important.
You'll find them all over the property these days.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to skin a goat.
The old gaffer.
That's right. But it's all just about getting mobile again.
Yeah.
You don't think about it till you don't got it, and
in case anybody's curious, that's what those look like. They're the little hard legs that strap on there, and then these attachments could be switched out, but that's what we're using at this point. There are these little foot things. I'd never seen any of this before, so.
I went from size 14s down to these little things.
Yeah.
But I'm shorter too, so.
Yeah.
And those are just playing around with different lumps on the bottom to give me feel.
Oh, texturizing your
those are 1/4 inch piece of the wood I put across there. It gives me something to rock up on so I can feel when I'm on full pad.
Oh.
Because I'm trying to feel through all this stuff.
Yeah.
Through stumps that aren't used to feeling it and yada yada. So.
Yeah, and you don't have your nerves running to your toes anymore.
Trying to teach this old lump of coal up here what's going on, so send it different signals.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think probably people with the situations going on probably develop better techniques than the engineers that are trying to think up good ideas and stuff. So that reminds me of some sort of working with different sounds for deaf people or something, using vibrations and stuff, so you're on to something there.
I find myself walking on my heel and rocking forward onto my toe, and they just give you this flat plate here. And my entire life, I always wore work boots that had Western work boots that have a tall heel in the back and a flat thing that you roll forward on in the front. So I'm thinking about drilling the 4 holes in the corners of this and making me a couple of wooden or metal soles that have a lump in the back and a flat spot in the front.
You want your heels back?
Well, my mind is, for 70 years, it said this is how we do it, this is what we expect. And now I'm bopping around this little 4-inch flat thing, and it's just not giving me the input I seek. Plus, I'd probably make them a little bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me more forward and back control. And I mean, plus, what else I got to do but play with it?
Yeah.
It's like the Wright brothers. Once they finally got their butt a couple of feet off the ground, then it's all just keep improving from there, you know?
It seems like the right thing to do is just keep sorting it out until you got it sorted out.
That's it.
Well, cool. Just wanted to check in with the Quest for Details viewers and let them know what you're up to. So, and I was like, we should document that thing because came over here and you're doing laps. So I'm like, that's what I mean about you speeding up the recovery process any way you can, you know.
Right. And the outside world's mostly just, well, you've been coming over and helping hack all the crap back and get it composted. And Emily's just finished, and Mom just finished getting all the plants in the garden mostly. So.
Yeah, major family farm video coming up soon with the showing all what we're busy with up the hill and all that stuff for sure.
I still got to get my sunflowers in the ground because I should have had them in already, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. We will talk to you very, very soon.
I'll hang out here.
Okay.